Welcome, everybody. This is the 11 o'clock normal level 3 class that we are now today doing a variety class. And what that means is it's for everybody, for all organs. And I have chosen to do easy medleys. What is a medley? Well, I actually went on Wikipedia and looked it up to see what exactly is a medley. And it's actually when two or more songs are combined into a coherent whole to form a new track. Now, a lot of times medleys are considered, people are recording things, and so they want to do one song right after another and do it smoothly. Sometimes multiple different songs are played all together, one right after the other, and medleys can be songs. Okay, you want to choose medleys. Oh, here comes Levon. You want to choose songs that are similar. Here comes Daun, still letting people in. So you might want to take songs from a single artist. Like, for example, pick a couple of songs by the Carpenters that are similar and play them. Pick a couple songs by the Beatles, which I actually have two sets of Beatles songs today. Or you might want to do pop songs from a given year, meaning, oh, let's take a couple of 70s songs, or let's take a couple of disco songs. And I really wanted to play two disco songs for you today, brand new ones that I had never done. And guess what? With all these computer problems, I ran out of time. So I'm going to set them aside and I will work on them for a different concert because that would have been just a lot of fun. I love doing the disco stuff. You can also pick songs according to genre. How many of you sit down at your instrument and you go, okay, today I'm in a country mood? And so you put on a country, and all of a sudden, song after song after song, and if you're in a country book, you can almost just turn the pages and go one song right after the other. Yeah, we all do that, don't we? Or Latin. Pick out your Latin book, and all of a sudden you start feeling like a Latin song. Spanish Eyes and Girl from Ipanema and Never on Sunday, and all of a sudden they all just start to fall into place. Okay, well, there are actually some rules that are going to make this easier for you, so take some notes. Okay, there are three rules. I'm going to hit mute all. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to hit mute all. You know you are able to stop and ask me a question anytime. Anytime. Stop and say, hey, I'm not understanding that. Go over that again. Or what about this song and this song? And we'll go over it together. Okay,
I do have a question, Dawn.
Okay, Sue, go ahead.
Are they of all the same key, using the same key?
Uh-huh. That's not yes and no. I'm going to say that right up front. Yes and no. Here are your three rules. So take notes. The most important one, the same music style. Meaning, pick the same background for all of them. So it just flows. Okay? Number two, the same tempo. Make sure that they're all going the same speed. Now, number three is the one that Sue just mentioned, the same key, so that it goes nice and smooth. Now, I'm also going to show you how to break that rule, because that's the hard one. When you're looking for songs that you think are going to be perfect together, and all of a sudden you go, this one's in this key, and this one's in the other key, but everything else lines up, and I would like to put them together. I'm going to give you some tips on how to make that happen for you, because in Easy Play, we have a lot of songs in the key of C, in the key of F, and in the key of G. Why is that, do you suppose? In Easy Play, they try to choose the songs that have, or put them in the key that have the fewest number of black notes as possible. Why is that? Because they always write the sharp or the flat in front of the note that you are supposed to make sharp or flatted. So if you were to write a song in the key of G flat, your scale would be, there's 5 black notes in that scale, and they would be you would have sharps and flats in front of almost every note. Wow. First of all, it would look like a mess. Second of all, it would be very difficult to follow. So that's why in Easy Play, most of your songs are written in the key of C, which is all white notes with a couple of accidentals, or the key of F, has one black key in the middle of it, or the key of G, which also has one black key in the scale. So,
Dawn,
yes,
I have a question before
go
I
ahead.
forget it. All the black notes. Okay, you use the black notes. How in the world would you get the chords to blend
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
and put in?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah. Well, we're going to make it real easy. First of all,
okay.
I'm going to play a medley. I'm going to play a polka medley, so good old-fashioned polkas. And all of the polkas I'm going to be playing are in the same key. So it's going to be real easy for me to just flip the sheets and go from one song to the next because everything's in the same key, everything's the same tempo, and I'm just going to pick a polka, and we're going to pick the happy polka, and I'm going to put it at about 112. That works for just about all of them. So now I've got the tempo, and I've got my background. And then I've got all my songs lined up, and I am just going to go from song to song to song and do a polka medley. And it's going to sound something like this. Whoa! That's better. Okay, all those songs just flowed one right after the other because they followed all three of those rules. The same music, the same music style, the same background, the same tempo, and the same key. Every single one of those was in the key of C. So I just went from one to the other to the other to the other. And you can do that. And if you wanted to put an end and a beginning cap on your medley, that's a lot of people do that. So I started with the beer barrel polka and I ended with the beer barrel polka. Now putting together medleys, you don't need to play the whole song. So a lot of times you can just skip the bridge and just go from the main part of the song to the main part of the song. You can put together medleys any way you want. Okay? Different keys. All right, let's do this one. Let's do this next one. I am
Dawn,
going to, yes, go ahead, Sue.
what were the two other songs that you used on the
The
polkas?
two that I used in the
two
polkas, they were all polkas.
I know that, but one was the beer barrel polka. What were the other two?
The beer barrel polka, I did the Barbara polka, the Julita polka, and the Pizzicato polka.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Where do you find all those? Those were all
Yeah.
actually in the Jumbo Songbook 199, number 199.
Okay.
Yeah, because they've got a good polka section in there.
Okay.
So That's where they all came from. I was going to attempt the clarinet polka, but I decided no, not
Okay.
not at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Dawn, I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Sue.
Patriotic songs, could
Mhm.
you do a medley? Okay, thank you.
You could, absolutely. You pick the same genre. But now, here's the problem. You got to find patriotic songs that are going to match the same background. If you're doing marches, that's an excellent one. You can do a couple of marches and they're going to match. But you have to watch because you've got some that are waltzes. Even though they're patriotic, they're going to be in 3/4 time. So you got to watch that.
Right.
The
Right.
number one thing you have to do is pick the same music style. Then you can kind of interpolate the tempos. If one's a little bit higher and one's a little bit lower, you can kind of interpolate and just do the same tempo for both and make it work.
Okay.
If it doesn't work, if you're struggling, remember, if you're struggling, you think these two songs really should go together and you're struggling and it's not quite, it doesn't sound good on this one, or it sounds fine here, but it doesn't sound good on this one, forget about it. Just keep them as two separate songs. Look for a different song to make a medley with. Because sometimes your songs just sound good by themselves. Okay, always remember that. You don't force something if it's not sounding right.
Right.
Okay? Now, the next two that I'm going to do a 50s medley. We're going to do 50s medley because a lot of your 50s songs uses the same chord progression. Now, I didn't exactly go with that, but C, A minor, D minor, G7 is considered the 50s progression. And a lot of songs have that. So I'm going to do 3 songs. 2 of the songs are in the key of C. Lollipop is in the key of C, and Dream Lover is in the key of C. Then I'm going to throw in on the end Chantilly Lace. Chantilly Lace is not in the key of C. It's in the key of F. So I'm first going to play it, and I want you to hear what I'm doing. See if you can hear what I'm doing. And then I'm going to explain how easy it is to go from the key of C to the key of F. Some of you probably already have the answer there. Okay. B4, there we go. There's my lollipop. And let's do lollipop. And I've chosen 50s swing rock, which is, most of you have that under rock full band. I think this comes under rock guitarist on the smaller instruments. 50s swing rock. And I'm using some guitars up here, or a guitar to start, and I'm using a growling sax, which is a very typical 50s sound. 138 is my tempo. Okay, I know I got interrupted by letting people in, but I had 3 songs. 2 of them were in the key of C. So all I had to do was go straight from one to the next. You know, and I didn't play the entire song. I just picked a spot to stop and went into Dream Lover. And then when I got to the end of Dream Lover, I moved into Chantilly Lace. Now, Chantilly Lace is in the key of F. So these are the 2 most common keys that you're going to find in easy play. So how did I smoothly go? Did it sound like it was smooth going from C to F? It sounded pretty smooth. How did I do that?
Transpose.
Nope, I did not use a transpose going from C to F, but I will be doing that later. Okay, C to F.
One's at the bottom of the keyboard.
Nope, that's not going to do it to make it go from one key to the next.
A 5 chord.
Yes, I use the 5 chord. Okay, now some of you are going, what the heck is a 5 chord? If you go to the second to the last chord of each song, that is going to typically give you the lead-in chord for that key. So if you're in the key of C, and you can count 5, and you don't worry about sharps and flats, it'll work. If you're in, let's do it that way. If you're in the key of C, and you just count up, C, D, E, F, G. G7 is the lead-in chord for C. Remember that, that's important. Okay? The key of F, what's the lead-in chord? Well, we can do the same thing. First of all, look and see what the second to the last chord is in your song. It says C7 here. Well, let's find out. F, G, A, B, C. C7 is the lead-in chord for the key of F. Okay? What did I end on in the key of C? C. I ended on a C chord. All I had to do was add the B flat to that C chord to give me the lead-in chord to go into the key of F. So I'm gonna take it off the rock and roll. If I was playing Lollipop, now I'm on a C chord. If I just add the B flat, now I have that lead-in chord to go to my F song. Okay, see how that works? Did I confuse you? But that worked pretty well, didn't it? Because a lot of our songs are going to be C and F. C and F.
So, Dawn, did you use the same chords that you did previously?
I just used the chords that were here in the paper.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Okay, so you
yeah.
went to 7 and then you went back to the chords that you had.
Mm-hmm. So all that, if you go from a song from C to F, if you play a C7 at the end of your song, it'll lead you right into that song in the key of F. Now, I did go back. How do you go back? I'm going to hit mute all again. We're getting a little bit noisy. How do you go back from the key of F back to the key of C if I wanted to end with my lollipop again? How do I do that? Well, let's see. What's the lead-in chord for C? C, D, E, F, G. G7. G7 is the lead-in chord. Uh-oh, I'm on an F. How do I get to a G7 quickly? It's actually 2 consecutive keys up. F sharp, G7. Or you could have just gone straight to the G7 because it's so close. Usually what I do is I go up the 2 consecutive keys. If I need to get to a G7, I do an F sharp, G, G7, and now I'm ready to go back into any song in the key of C so I can get back to my Dream Lover or my Lollipop. G7 always goes back to C.
When using that transition chord, you always use a 7th chord because that's a leading chord.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
You always want to get to the 5th grade of your song that you're going to. Now
Okay.
that's if you're using C and F. We will do one that also has C and G. It's going to work the same way because G is another popular chord in easy play music. And let's face it, that's what most of us are going to play, right? We're going to play easy play music. What happens if we have, I think my C and G are in a different song, different order here. But if I've got a song in the key of,
May I interrupt you before
go
you
ahead,
go there?
go ahead, Sue.
Do you have to use just general chords for all the medley songs? I mean, don't change the chords, keep them simple.
I'm using all the
Okay.
chords that are right here in your music. That's it.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why anybody can do this. Any level can do this. If you know the tricks, the trick is get the right rhythm, same rhythm. 2, same tempo. 3, same key if you can. If you can't, these are the tricks to lead from one song to the other so that it goes real smoothly. 1 chord or 2 chords will get you to that lead in. That's what you're looking for. And in easy play, remember, F and C are the 2 most common keys that easy play music is written in. G is the 3rd most common key because it has just that one black key. So what happens if we've got a song G and C? Well, let's look at the lead-in chords. Okay, here's C. I think we've already discovered C, D, E, F, G. G7 is the lead-in chord. Oh, that makes it easy because it means I'm going to start with the song in the key of G. I'm going to start with the song in the key of G because when I get to the end of the song, I'm going to end the song in G, and then I'm going to add the G7, and that's the lead-in chord to take you right into your song in the key of C. Okay?
You're counting.
Simple things. Mhm. So
You're
now you
only
know how to do most of your songs in easy play. What's the lead-in chord for G? Let's do that. G. What comes after G? A, B, C, D. D. D7 is the lead-in chord to go into G. Okay, so you're not going to do that as often. Now, how do you get back to from the key of C? Let's do that. If you're on G and C, you're going to start with the G because you can just go to the 7 and go to your song in the key of C. Now, how do you get back to the key of C if you want to go backwards? What did we say was the lead-in for G? D, A, B, C, D. D7 is the lead-in chord for G. How far away is D7 from C? It's that same scenario we just had. It is 2 consecutive keys up. So if you're on a C, you can go C sharp, D, make it a 7. It's so easy. You just go C sharp, D, make it a 7. Now you're ready to go back to the song in the key of G. It's always the 5th grade. It's always the 5th grade. Or take a look at the second to the last chord in your song. That'll tell you what that lead-in chord is. Questions so far? Everything you know now, you've got pretty much all the tools to do simple, nice medleys. And the problem is there's not a lot of songs. You're going to find some songs in the same key, but they're not always going to be the same key. And you want to put them together. But in easy play, you're going to have C, you're going to have F, and you're going to have G. These are the ways to go from one to the other and keep it easy. And yes, transposing is going to be when we get the weird ones. All right, here's the next one I'm going to show you. We're going to do a medley for a waltz, and we're going to do it in a minor key. I wanted to do a medley. We did Greensleeves the other day in class, and it was so pretty. And then I was looking through some of my books, and I found in my Simon and Garfunkel book, Scarborough Fair. Do you remember that one? Scarborough Fair, beautiful song. And it's in a minor key, and it's a waltz. Oh, cool. So I thought, okay, I can put together Greensleeves and Scarborough Fair. So I look at I look for the right rhythm. That's the first thing I did. And I found guitars, 3/4. Now, if you're on a smaller instrument, it's 3/4 guitarist. It's the same rhythm. And I'm at 102 beats per minute. And the very first song is in the key of E minor. E minor. It's the last chord in the song. Now here's my problem. Greensleeves is in the key of D minor. Oh no, now what am I going to do? I can't just, I want it to go real nice and smooth. Oh, so what am I going to do? I'm going to play it, and I want you to think about what I'm going to do. See if you can figure it out. It has to do with transposing, but I'm going to do it on the fly, and you're going to see what I'm doing. Here we go. Scarborough Fair. So they sounded like they went right one into the other, and it was very smooth. But I had to do a little break in between, and all I did was do a drum solo. Let's review on how to do a drum solo. You do a no chord and your fill-in, and it gives you time to go up and find your transpose. Now know where your transpose is. And I'm going to transpose to get the other one even with, I've got an E minor and I've got a D minor. So I want to get the D minor up even with the E minor. So what did I have to do to transpose?
Just what you said, right, balance it up.
Up
Two.
2. I had to go up 2. Remember, transposing is all about distances. Don't look at what's in the window. You're taught you're the distance from one to the other. From an E minor, D minor, okay? D minor is 2 below the E minor. If I start with E minor, D minor's here, I want to bring that second song up to meet the E minor. So I want it to go up 2. Don't look at the window, it's going to confuse you. So you just do a no chord, hit your fill in, go up 2, and you just write yourself a little note. Transpose up 2, boom, boom. Then you start playing. It's going to be in the key of E minor now. When I want to go back, when I'm ready to stop, I just made myself a little note, transpose down 2. Transpose down 2, because now I'm going to take that song and I'm going to put it back to my E minor.
Mhm.
Okay?
It's two half steps, two
2
intervals.
half steps, correct. Every time you touch transpose, it goes up a half step. So you can't just do it once, because you do it once, now you're going to be sitting like this, and it's not going to meet.
Mhm.
So it's all about distances. If you have a song, let's try a different one. You have a song in the key of A and a song in the key of C. Ooh, wow. Okay, it's all about distances.
1, 2.
All right.
How you gonna?
Always pick the shortest one. Yeah, if you put those two together, what are you going to do? Because the lead-in chords don't match.
Right.
All right, the lead-in chords aren't going to work here. So you want to do some transposing. So how far away is C from A? You could do it this way, but that's a long way. But C, how far away is C from A?
3 half steps.
3 half steps. So in order to bring it to meet your first song, you would want to put a little note. If you're starting with the one in the key of A and you're going to the one in the key of C, you want to give yourself a little note. 1, 2, 3. Down 3. You want to meet the first song. Okay, is it making sense? Transposing is all about distances. All about distances. Now, if you've got 3 half steps, you might not want to go 1, 2, 3. Or if you've got 6 half steps, you might not want to sit there and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because you might miss one. So what's the easiest way to do then?
Preset.
Presets. Save them into your presets. Absolutely correct. You would bring it, you would put it where it's supposed to be to meet. And when you put it where it's supposed to meet, you just save it in that other preset. I'm going to do one like that for you as well. Is that the next one I'm doing? No, that's not the next one I'm doing. But that's how transposing works. It's distances. Don't look at your screen because it's going to get you real confused. We could talk about transposing all day long. It really is.
Dawn,
Yes?
would that not be too difficult though?
Why?
Just transpose down, you know.
That's a little bit tricky one. Your easy
Yeah.
ones are C, F, and G. You got C, F, and G. You just do the 5th grade of the scale.
Just
Get
go
from one
do
to
E
the other.
minor, D minor. No
D
problem.
minor and E minor are only D minor and E minor are only 2 away from each other.
Yeah.
So if you didn't want to do what I did, if you did not want to do the 1, 2 in order to make it meet, you didn't want to do that, then what you want to do is you want to preset 2
Right.
up and save it to the next preset.
Right.
So now you just have a 1-button push.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't have any problem doing that. I saw you.
Yeah, I just did a no chord
Yeah.
and boom, boom.
Yeah. Okay.
So 2 is not a big deal. 3 or more is going to take a little bit
Right.
longer.
Right.
All right, the next medley I'm putting together is a soft rock medley. And I'm going to do Eric Clapton's Wonderful Tonight, and I'm going to do Van Morrison's Have I Told You Lately That I Love You, because they're pretty much talk about the same type of a thing. How much I love you, have I told you lately I love you, and they're both soft rock, and I'm going to be doing this at 92 beats per minute. 92 beats per minute. Let's see if I can get this stretched out here. Yeah, I guess I can. Let me get a clip. Let me get a clip here. Clips are perfect. For those of you that have iPads, you'd want to put everything in order on your iPad and just put your sheets where you want them to go. Now, Wonderful Tonight is in the key of G. The key of G. Have I Told You Lately is in the key of C. Aha. So we already talked about this. So when I play Wonderful Tonight in the key of G, I stop where I want to stop, and then I play G7, just add that F, and there's the lead-in chord to take me into the key of C for Van Morrison. When I want to go back to my Eric Clapton song, now I'm in the key of C, I want to get to the 5th grade of G. G, A, B, C, D. I want to get back to a D7. So I'm going to go from a C to a C sharp to a D, play the D7. It's just a boom, boom, boom. And there you are on the lead-in chord for your next song. A lot of times with medleys, you can go around the circle of fifths and do lots of different chords. Do it easy. 1 or 2, and that's all you need. Keep it quick. You don't want to do a great big turnaround thing because then all of a sudden you're making a mess. So we're going to do Wonderful Tonight. Soft rock at 92, starting in the key of Easy stuff. I started with the 1 in G. When I got to the end of where I felt like playing, I went to a G7 chord, which led into the key of C very smoothly. Very smoothly. And then when I wanted to go back from the key of C to the key of G, I ended on C. I went up to the C sharp, to the D, add that 7, C and D together, and now I'm ready to go back into the key of G. Those are the easiest ways to get to and from each one of your songs. So you can go forward, backwards, doesn't matter. Any questions?
That
Are you
C
starting to get it?
transition. That C transition, did you play Did you play the C, C sharp, D?
And then went to a D7, and the D7 took me back to the key of G. Yes. If you do it a couple of times, work on a couple of songs that you're very familiar with. And, you know, like Christmas songs, you can pick 2 Christmas songs and go, okay, I'm going to play 2 Christmas songs like Jingle Bells, and I'm going to play it in, pick a rhythm. I'm going to do a country Jingle Bells, and then if it's in the key of C, play that. And then pick another one that's kind of the same tempo. It has to pretty much make it the same tempo. And if it's in the key of F, now you know which lead-in chords to use. Or if it's the key of G, you know which lead-in chords to do, because hopefully you wrote them down. I will repeat them again. All right, now I went to 2 other waltzes. I'm going to do country waltz because I haven't done any country yet. But I'm going to do waltzes. The Tennessee Waltz and the Last Cheaters Waltz. Okay, now I have a problem. They're both country waltzes. They're both going to be at 82 beats a minute, but one is in the key of C, and the other one is in the key of F. And how do you tell the keys? Just as a reminder, it's 99 times out of 100, the last chord that you play is the key of the song. Okay? So I'm going from C to F. So I need to know what the lead-in chord is to get me to the key of F, don't I? Okay, well, I can either go to the end of the song and say, what's the second to the last chord? The second to the last chord is a C7. That's the lead-in chord. Or I can count it. F, G, A, B, C. The lead-in chord is always the 5th grade of the scale. Goes back to F. So if I'm ending on C, I'm just going to change it to a C7 to move into the next song in the key of F. Making sense? Tennessee Waltz. Okay, so that just goes to show you how easy it is. If you find two songs, the easiest things to find are going to be the genre, the music style. Okay, that's pretty much the same thing, almost. You know, your big bands, your country, those are your genres. Your tempo, make sure your tempo can match. Now, what's a good way to kind of figure it out? How about using your song setup for one or both of the songs to see what they're actually bringing up? Because the song setup for one might actually be the perfect music style for both your songs. Even if your song setups are different for each song, they might be close. Or at least your tempo might be close. And then you can just pick one of your backgrounds and use the same background for both songs. The problem is going to always be with the keys because easy play music is C, F, and G. So hopefully now you have some good tips. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing good yet. Yeah. C, F, and G are the easiest ones by using the lead-in chords. Using the lead-in chords. Any questions on that so far? Nope. Try it a couple of times. I think you're going to have fun. Now I'm going to do two Beatles songs. Wow, I'm going to run out of time here. I'm going to do With a Little Help from My Friends and Penny Lane. I just like Penny Lane. Unfortunately, Penny Lane is written in this hard stuff. So that's just the way it is. Okay, let's get that all up here like that. And I'm going to use now. I got a problem with this one too. I got one song in the key of C. Okay, that's easy. And now this one that I've got in standard notation, that's in the key of B flat. Oh no. It's two away. So I'm going to have to do one of two things. I'm going to have to do the no chord and then do the transpose to bring my key of B flat up to the key of C and then go backwards. Or I could already change my presets. I just went down to, I went up to to meet it, and then put it in the next preset. So I've got two presets for this one. One in the key of C, and the other up to, and it's going to tell me the key of D in the window. Don't look at the window. It's all about the distances. You want to bring that second song to meet the first song. So I want it to go up to. Just because it says transpose to D and I'm playing it in the key of B flat doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. It's the distance. Okay, so remember that. Transposing has nothing to do with this and everything to do with your distances. You want to bring that second song up or down to meet your first song. And to make it easy so I didn't have to remember, I just put it in a different preset. Same background, same tempo. Now I did change the sound on it just because you can do that. You change sounds in the middle of a regular song, so why not change sounds when you're doing the medleys as well? Because it works. I'm on basic contempo, which gives me a shuffle. A shuffle. Now if you don't have a shuffle, your rock full band will work just as well on this, and we're going 110 beats per minute. So we're going to do a Beatles song. Okay. Yeah. So that's what it's easier just to memorize it into a preset because then you just do your drum solo because it gives it that little in between drum kick, which you do sometimes in a regular song anyway. And then you just go to the next preset so they're not hearing they're not hearing so much going from one to the other. Now if you can go smoothly just by going bump bump, do it, but a lot of times you can hear that. I love to go from preset to preset on a drum solo if I'm doing two separate things like that, and it works beautifully. So instead of me physically poking the transpose button, I just poked the next preset and it worked. Okay, how am I doing? All right, I also did Let It Be and Hey Jude. Those two went together very well, but they were in different keys also. One is in the key of F, one is in the key of C. Yeah, so how do we do that? What's the lead-in chord for the key of F?
I'm gonna find it.
C7.
C7, correct, C7. So if I start with the song in the key of C, then all I have to do is go to the C7 and start my next song. If I'm going backwards, what's the lead-in chord for the key of C? G7. G7C all the time, all day long. Okay, so when you go to G7, how do you get there from F? F sharp, G, G7. Boom, there it is. So those are the easiest ways to put medleys together. And if you have to go more than one or two up or down, then that's when you want to start using the transpose, and you may just want to go ahead and memorize it into a preset. But remember your transpose. You always want the second song to go up or down to meet the first song. Okay? Sometimes it gets tricky. If you're on E minor and you've got a song in D minor, don't say, oh, D minor is 2 away, so I want to go down 2. Don't do that because then you're going to get even farther away. You want to meet the first song. So you want to bring that D minor song up 2 to meet the E minor. It's all about distances. All right, I'm going to do the last one. I'm not going to play the Beatles. I'm going to do a Fred Astaire medley. And I'm going to do 2 songs that we all know, Cheek to Cheek and The Way You Look Tonight. Okay, you notice a lot of these songs I picked because they were in Book 15, because that's normally this class at this hour. All right, so these are 2 fairly easy songs. One of them's in the key of C. Good. The other one's in the key of D. Uh-oh, what do I have to do here? C, D. I have to transpose it down 2 because remember, each time you push a transpose, it's a half step. So I want to transpose it down 2 to meet my first song. So I'm going to start with Cheek to Cheek. Then when I get to the end, and I wrote myself a little note, transpose down 2. That way I just remember to do that. All right, so we are going to play on the Society, which actually is song setup for Cheek to Cheek. Yeah. So we're going to do song setup for Cheek to Cheek, and we're going to use that for The Way You Look Tonight as well. We're just going to do our little transpose to make it match. Same rhythm, same music style, same tempo. Those are the easy ones. It's getting those keys that are hard, but hopefully this makes it a little bit easier for you. Okay. Cheek to Cheek in the key of C. those were just some easy ways to make some song medleys and have them be real smooth, because that's what you're looking for when you're doing medleys. And I usually went from one to another, and then I always came back to the first one. You don't have to do that. You can just make them go one right after the other. But you want to make one smooth, coherent, new mega mix. They call them mega mixes on Wikipedia too. So that's what you're doing. Put together your songs, and it can just be one right after the other. You can go from one to the other, come back again. You do whatever you want to do, but just make it nice and smooth. So did you learn one thing today?
We learned a lot of things, and this is wonderful, wonderful.
I am so glad. I am so glad. I don't think anybody's ever
Interesting.
tackled that one before, but we have in the store. We've done some of these things in some of our in-store classes, and it really is fun to watch you guys get creative and what songs you put together to make some fabulous medleys. So give it a try, because I think you'll really, really like it. You guys
Very,
are
very
awesome.
good.
Remember,
That was really
next
fun.
week, no class, okay? So I will see you all again. I know. Robert's got us doing in-store stuff next week. So no class next week. Work on your medleys. Have a great time. I will see you.
Okay.
I
Well,
will see.
excuse me, since there's no class next week,
That was fun.
we have
John,
to
a
all,
question.
Yes.
You mentioned Wikipedia. What was your argument when you entered Wikipedia for
Medley.
this?
I just looked
Medley?
up song
Okay.
medleys. Yeah, just song
Thank you.
medleys.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks a bunch.
And it just gives you some ideas, and it actually gave a bunch of people that put medleys together, and so you can actually listen to some of them and see what they do. But I brought it to an easy play level, because let's face it, that's what we play. We play easy play, so we have to make it so it works for the type of music that we use. So hopefully you're going to go have some fun. I will see you all at 11 o'clock, 2 weeks from today, 11 o'clock Florida time for our regular level 3 class.
Don, one more thing before you hang up. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to, isn't it your birthday next Saturday?
No?
Oh, I'm sorry. I
No.
think that then.
Hey, have an unbirthday.
Hey,
My
hey,
birthday is-
you know what? Celebrate every day like it's your birthday. That's what you should do. Yeah, no, my birthday was back in March. So
Okay.
Thanks, Dawn.
you guys are awesome. So thank you so much for attending today, and I'll see you again next time.
Very good.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you.
Can't do it without you. Love you guys.
Love you too. Bye.